to Bins to Bottom Line.
Brent Pennell.
Jason McNevin. Good
How
to see
are you guys?
Good. All right, so we've got a new podcast coming your way from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Big ag infrastructure, cleaning, processing, granular fertilizer, and seed treating. So, this is an introduction video. Didn't want to come straight at you guys with topics and some of the nerdy things that we want to talk about. Without further ado, Jason, why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you're excited to talk about?
Yeah, Jason McNevin. I've been involved in processing for 30 plus years. About 12 years ago, or very close to, I was lucky enough to take over canned seed equipment and really focused on growing it the last 12 years. The first half of that was strictly just in processing sites, and then jumped into the farm systems. There's a large business there and lots of need to help people out.
Yeah, let's be honest, there's still a pile of runway there, but where I started 6 years ago, Brent Pennell, by the way, canned seed equipment is my day job as well. Yeah, Jason and I have been working together on the daily for about 6 years. I really came in and grew the big farm side of the business. Yeah, you could say it's a big guy that likes big bins, right, Jason? But all joking aside, we want to come in and talk to you guys about four main things. Of the four, I think there's two real driver topics that are going to take probably 70 to 80% of the time. And those are the big farm infrastructure, which you're going to hear a lot from me. And on Jason's side, that's really cleaning and processing, which is your baby, Jason.
Yeah, 100%. There's other things that we dabble in as far as treater systems and fertilizer systems, but they're pretty well seasonal compared to some of the other stuff that we're involved in. So yeah, 80% or so is going to be that main stuff, Brent.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to keep topics to things that we think that we have a really good handle on, that we think we can bring value. We're definitely going to bring some folks on the show as well that are, customer of ours, telling you guys about their process, what were the issues that they were trying to solve, how did they plan their project, and what were the results. At the end of the day, we don't want to just talk about equipment, but we also want to talk about how do you identify those problems? How do you actually stay consistent on site? How do you pick a system, and how do you go from a napkin drawing, Jason, to a predictable construction process and like a really nice result at the end?
Process. Everything is process. And, I think we always try to walk before we run. And we do so much on the front end on the design systems before execution. That is where the key is, Brent.
Absolutely. Well, as someone that works for Jason, I can tell you I do get tired of hearing the word process. But at the end of the day, for our customers, the biggest thing is it's not about having the best execution all the time in all scopes, but it's about how do we create predictable results, right? There's always going to be issues, but we try to limit them. And what is it that we've learned over the last number of years on how to build, execute, and deliver predictable projects for people, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's always going to be a little bit of pain along the way, but the more planning you do up front, the better the end results.
Process, right, Jason? Process. Okay. One thing that we just want to call out, this is going to be a separate platform than canned seed equipment. You are going to hear canned seed quite a bit. You are going to hear canned seed equipment brands and labels. You're going to see canned seed projects that we've executed. And that's plainly because 80% of our working life is spent at canned seed equipment.
100%.
We're going to try to keep it as generic as possible so that it's not just a plug for trying to sell you guys stuff. We want the principles to be the same, regardless of the paint color that you choose, regardless of the dealer that you choose to purchase it from.
Yeah, we're trying to be obviously unbiased. I'm sure we will be biased in some cases, but at the same time, it's the end result is getting the customer what they need to be able to execute their system properly.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for us guys is we have a bit of a plan on some of the topics we're going to start with for you guys. We have some time sensitive ones with dryer systems and things like that.
It's going to be a big one this year.
Yeah, huge, huge. What we really want from you guys is we want you guys to engage with us. So catch us on TikTok, catch us on YouTube, X, Instagram, Spotify, LinkedIn. At the end of the day, the direction of this show is really going to come from the feedback that we receive from you guys. And like I mentioned at the beginning, there really isn't that ag infrastructure show out there. So we want to shape what you guys want to see and deliver really good value.
100%. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. One last little shout out. Thanks to Dave and Angelina Friesen. You guys helped us create the set. Really appreciate it.